Let us now start our day with the very first session titled Napkin Pitch by Juthika DCruz. Born in the metropolitan city of Mumbai, Juthika, an inner image specialist, has an eclectic sense of presentation and style. In the corporate world, she has risen up from the post of a personal assistant to the position of branch manager by sheer grit and determination.
Having dealt with the subtleties of domestic life too, Jyotika understands the challenges that men and women face in juggling between home, professional, and personal lives. It is therefore her passion and mission to assist people navigate through the maze of life. Thank you, ma'am, for being here to mentor and guide the attendees. Ma'am, may I now request you to deliver the session?
Thank you so much, Garima. Thank you so much for the introduction. And I'm so happy to be here amongst all of y'all. Um, thank you, Mr. Talele, and thank you, Mr. Dinesh Asrani as well, for this wonderful opportunity that you have given to me. Listening to my own introduction, I was a little bit like perturbed because the branch manager thing seems to be like so long ago. I've come a long way after that, and being on my entrepreneurial journey has seen a lot of ups and downs, and I have kind of added a lot of more other ventures to my own kitty during my journey. And today I'll be sharing with you what I can, in a way of inspiring the new entrepreneurs who are wanting to set up their own businesses and venture out into the industry and into the market and making it big on their own. So, welcome all you aspiring startup professionals, and all you engineering students who would like to take up the engineering profession a little further through your entrepreneurial ventures. Let's begin with asking yourselves, or rather, I'd like to ask you a very important question. Who exactly are you? We have been listening to Mr. Chari so far, and we have seen mind boggling figures, a lot of technical stuff, and that is so much an aspect of being an entrepreneur. While that remains the main focus of you moving forward in your entrepreneurial journey and crunching numbers and doing everything, there is a person behind all this crunching of numbers and all these activities that you need to do as an entrepreneur in your life, and that person is you. And today I want to introduce you to that person, to yourself. So let's begin with asking yourselves, who are you? Do you like yourself? Do you have any inhibitions about yourself? What do you really feel about yourself? You might want to take this venture forward uh, as an entrepreneur, or some of you might be thinking of like just getting an employment and working for in the industry. So if you are an employee, you would be working for others and making their dreams come true, whoever's venture you are working for. And if you choose to become an employer, an entrepreneur, then you are living your dreams and helping many more other people to earn a livelihood and become an inspiration source for them as well. Either ways, to become successful, you have to impress people with your work, right? So, assuming that you love your work, you will be putting in all the efforts to make it as impressionable as possible, right? And that is what the napkin pitch is all about. Impressing the other person, whoever it might be. It could be your investor, it could be your prospective partner or prospective client or customer. So the napkin pitch is about impressing this other person in the shortest period of time with the least amount of peripherals or aid. Just imagine yourself being caught with this wonderful prospect person in a coffee shop, and you have absolutely nothing at your disposal. So, how would you pitch your business, your venture to this person in the shortest period of time? Probably you'll pick up a napkin, a tissue, which is available in in all coffee shops, and that is how you will like probably write something on it and try and bring that person to an understanding about what your business is about and how you want him to become a part of your venture. But before you do all that, the most important thing is it enough? Is it really enough to impress your client with only your product and your work? Or is there more to the selling and the pitching to a client? Yes, I would definitely say that there is so much more than pitching to a client about your work, your product, your venture, and your partnership or whatever you are uh, focusing on at that point of time. So before buying your product or listening to your project or your service, the client first needs to be impressed by you. And he buys you before he buys your product. When I say he buys you, I am referring to the BUY. He buys you first. So, yes, you have to put yourself up in the market, in the industry, put yourself on the stage, and make the most beautiful impression that you can make with your presence. So your work is could be great, all right, and because you love it, you normally would put so much of hard work into it. Now let me ask you something very important today. How much of hard work do you put into building yourself? It's a very important question. I do hope all of you all have a notebook or a pen and paper along with you, because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions which will be very much introspective, and I would want you to write down those questions and the answers to it as we go along this session and as we keep progressing to through the session. Okay, so the very first question is like, how much do you love yourself? How much of an effort do you put into building yourself? You put effort into building your business, but do you put effort into building your own self? Into making yourself likable, impressionable, and saleable to the client? Some of you might take objection to this word saleable and that you are on sale, or somebody is, that I'm referring to the whole concept as somebody buying you before they buy your product. No offense, but that is the truth. I'll come to it in more detail a little further on. Okay, so right now let's begin with a little exploration of getting to know yourself, and let's keep this a little interactive in a way that you actually write down these questions and write down the answers as well. Okay, so here we go. So the first question now I'm going to ask you under the earlier subheading of do you love yourself is like, how much of an effort are you putting into yourself, and do you really really love yourself? Answer would be a very simple yes or a no. So whatever it is, just put it down in your notebook, and we'll take it further from there. If you have said a yes, okay, very proud of you, wonderful work, keep going. If you have said no, I would like to ask you, why? Where is it that you feel you are falling short? Even for those people who have said yes, I would still ask you to introspect a little more with the second question. Ask yourselves, when you talk about yourself, what do you really, really say? When you talk about yourselves, what do you say? Do you say, oh, I am not able to do this? Oh, I am a little weak in this area? Or Probably you say, I am fantastic. The ones who have said, yes, yes, I love myself. You all might have said, like, yes, I am fantastic. Yes, I am the best. Yes, I am wonderful. Lovely. But these are all abstract state words. Wonderful, fantastic. These words are not quantifiable, right? Very abstract. So, what you need to actually say about yourself is like, I am able to do this, this, this. I am capable of being a wonderful leader. I am able to lead a team. You understand what I'm saying now? Okay, when you talk about yourself, don't just talk in abstract terms, make it quantifiable, make it descriptive, so that you know exactly what you are, who you are, and what you're capable of becoming as an entrepreneur and taking your startup forward. I hope you have written your answers to this question. When you talk about yourself, what do you say? We'll now move on to the third question, and that is, when people compliment you, how do you respond? Many people you might respond with, oh, it's nothing. When somebody says, oh, especially the girls, I would really like to point it out over here, not being sexist, but just a general observation that when they are told that, oh, you look beautiful, they will retreat back and they will like, oh, it's nothing, it's the dress. Oh, it's the makeup. I'm wearing makeup today, that's why I look good. Why would you not just accept the compliment for what it is? The person said, you look beautiful. Simply say, thank you. I appreciate that you have given me a compliment. Just say thank you. How difficult is that? The moment you say that, oh, it's nothing, oh, this is, I'm all right. If even for the boys or the men, when somebody says, oh, good job, like, some of them might take it wonderfully and say like, yes, I did that. But some of them might say like, oh, it's teamwork. Yes, it was teamwork, but this person is actually complimenting you. It's very nice of you to give the credit to your team as well. But before you give credit to your team, why don't you just say, yes, thank you. I know I did a wonderful job. So you are accepting that, yes, you are that wonderful person who accomplished something. Don't discount a compliment, don't deny a compliment to yourself. So, have you written down the answer to this question? What do you respond? How do you respond when people compliment you? And if it is anything like what I had mentioned earlier, I would strongly urge you to next time gracefully accept the compliment, because that is what who you are, isn't it? So gracefully accept it that yes, you are this person who accomplished something. You are this person who is beautiful. You are this person who is capable of so much more. Okay, so moving on to the fourth question. When people criticize you, how do you respond? Now, this is a tricky one. When people criticize you, how do you respond? Well, most of us would feel offended, isn't it? We feel like, oh, who the hell is he or she to judge me? What does he know? What does she know what I did? Or like, how much hard work I went through and all like. Again, take a step back. Think, what is this person talking about? Think about it as, how do we call that? On whatever the criticism has been. I hope I'm audible enough because my
Yeah, ma'am. Just like before you were thinking of a word, you just got paused for a little bit. So it would be great if you could
yeah,
repeat yourself.
Yes.
yes, it was showing my internet is a little unstable. Yeah. Okay, so where did you lose me?
So, ma'am, you were saying that you were thinking about a word.
On how do you
Ah,
portray
okay,
this
okay,
construct?
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So look at it as constructive criticism. Okay, look at it from the point of view where you can improve on whatever has been told to you. Probably it is for your own benefit. Don't look at it as somebody who is trying to put you down or trying to, like, make you feel bad or anything of that sort. Take it in the right spirit. Look at it as constructive criticism and make the amends, make the changes that you need to make. That will help you so much in the future in building a better entrepreneurial venture, a better team, a better project, and of course, a better you as well. All right. So, moving on to the next question. Question number 5. What are your negatives in relation to your work? Okay. Now, I'm not asking you as a person, I'm asking you the negatives as in relation to your work. Note the question down properly, very carefully, and tell me what are the negatives that you are facing in relation to your work. For example, um, you may be able to do certain things very fluently, very easily. But there could be certain aspects of your job, of your entrepreneurial journey that you may not be so very good at. Like when Mr. Chari was talking about the technological stuff, honest to God, it went all over my head. I'm not a very technological person. I'm more of, like, a psychological person. I understand more of psychology. I understand more of emotion. When it comes to the numbers, when it comes to technology, I'd rather give it to the experts, okay, in my team who are better at it than I am. So whatever negatives are there, those are my negatives. I admit it. I absolutely own this. Like, yes, I am not able to do everything when it comes to my uh, venture or when it comes to my business. And you don't have to do everything by yourself. Delegation, that is a word. It's not just a word, it is also a very important aspect of your business so that the work is distributed. So look at what negatives are there in you in relation to your work. Probably you could delegate it to your team members or to your partner and take a back seat and concentrate more on the positives that are there in you. Okay, and that exactly is the next question. What are your positives in relation to your work? So, like I said, you could be good at something and you can hone on those skills, you can upgrade on those particular skills and make yourself a better leader, a better entrepreneur, a better person. Okay. So, yes, so those were the negatives and positives in relation to your work. The next one is how do you deal with obstacles and failures? This is a very, very, very profound aspect of any entrepreneurial journey. You will face so many obstacles, you will face so many failures, but the point to be kept in mind is that you need to keep going on. You might have failed in certain areas, you might have failed in the entire venture or in the entire startup. It could have been like wrong from the word go, but at least you tried, right? And that is absolutely fantastic. Not many people brave the journey of an entrepreneurial life. It is a tough life because you are not just the employer there, you are the employee also. And doing this dual job in your journey is something to be absolutely proud of. And sometimes, if you do face obstacles or failures, you need to take it in your stride and just keep going on. Find another way, find a different opening, open another door, and just keep forging ahead. Don't get bogged down by obstacles. I would really like you to write the very, very honest answer in your notebook about this question: how do you deal with your obstacles? Because the more honest you are, the more is your willingness to improve on your character, on yourself, on your personality, and of course, your business as well. All right. Remember, when you know your weaknesses and your strengths, when you know what gives you the joy and what makes you want to give up, you are able to be in better control of yourself. When you think positively about yourself, when you're absolutely confident that other people's criticisms doesn't matter to you, and you only see the good side of those criticisms, the brilliance in behind those criticisms, that is when you will be able to give your 100% to your client, to your business, to your partner, and to your investors. When your cup is full, okay, that is when you are able and willing to share with others and be able to pour into their cups and fill their cups as well. If your cup is empty, what are you going to give others? There's nothing to give. And then it's all a futile venture all through. So fill your cup first and then help others to fill theirs as well. And you'll be able to give this way, you'll be able to give value to your customers. You will be ready and able to give them what they want. Now, this is very important. What they want. Here again, I would say we come to a further, deeper introspection. The first segment, we saw those 7 questions, and this is the second segment now, asking you now, what is it that you want? We are always looking at what the customer wants, what can we give the customer, what can we create that the customer can make use of. Pause a little, take a look at yourself, and ask yourself, what is it that you want? What do you really want? For example, when you go shopping, what do you expect from the salesperson there? Just imagine yourself shopping in a mall, and out there, there are a lot of sales people on the floor, and one of them approaches you, or you approach them, and you ask the person about a particular item that you picked off the shelf. If the salesperson is able to give you proper details about the product, and if what he or she wants or what you wanted is not available, if they are able to make alternate arrangements or suggest you some alternate product and are really helpful in giving you the attention, they are respectful in their speech, and they have complete product knowledge, and they understand what you want and how you want it within your budget. And the icing on the cake would then also be a guarantee that they will be there for you even after the sale is long done, right? Isn't this what we expect from another salesperson? When you feel the seller is meeting all these expectations of yours, attention, respectful speech, knowledge about the product, a wholesome understanding of where you are coming from, what you want and what you need, what your requirements are, your budget, and after sales service. When all these expectations of yours are met, then you develop a relationship with that particular salesperson. It's a professional relationship. Don't get too alarmed. Uh, so but you do have a kind of affinity to that particular salesperson, right? And next time when you go to that shop, you will probably look for that salesperson and want him or her to guide you through whatever you are there to purchase the next time. So, similarly, I would want you to introspect, have whatever relationship you build with your client. Similarly, what is your relationship with yourself? Do you give attention to yourself? Look at the main question again. This is the third segment I'm coming to. What is your relationship with yourself? Do you give attention to yourself? How you dress, how you behave, how you walk, how you talk? Are you aware of the way you speak? Are you aware of the tone of your voice? Are you aware of the volume at which you speak? Is it too loud or is it too screechy? Are you aware of the pitch of your voice? So, why is all this important? Because when you approach an investor with your, what is it called? The napkin pitch. Yeah. When you approach somebody, all these things matter a lot. Because first impressions are cracked in a few seconds of the first meeting. And if visually you are not pleasing to the eye of the person you're approaching, and if your voice is jarring, if your voice is too loud, if your voice is too scratchy or squeaky, a person can get put off. Wait, that's not all. There is also this whole aspect of, do you have the knowledge about your own qualities? Yeah, what's your relationship with yourself? Do you have the knowledge about your own qualities? Maybe you have a beautiful smile or a lovely dimple on your cheek or chin, a twinkle in your eye, or maybe you have the art of persuasion or putting someone at ease with your friendliness. There are so many qualities that you could have which you can utilize when you are pitching anything to a client or to an investor or to any prospective person. All these things are very important. As you are aware of your qualities, it is also important to see if you are aware of what you are lacking in terms of skills. Just a minute. Okay. I thought there were some messages there. All right. So, just as you are supposed to be aware of your own qualities, you should be aware of what you are lacking in terms of skills. Now, these are personal skills. Earlier, we spoke about everything in relation to your work. Now, this is very personal, like your appearance, your voice, your speech, your own qualities of friendliness, of persuasion, and so on. And similarly, the skills that you might be lacking. Are you short tempered? Do you get impatient with people very quickly? Or are you weak at designing? Or are you not able to hold the team together? All these skills are required, but if you do not have them, it would be very important for you to take a note of them, understand your relationship with yourself, and hone these skills, develop these skills. Do you appear scary to anybody? Do you appear overly aggressive when you approach somebody? It can be quite daunting for a person if you appear aggressive, or if you are very insistent, or if you're butting in when they are very busy. So You need to hone all these skills, harness all the negatives, and hone all the positives, whatever characteristics you have in your personality. Again, are you aware of what new skill you need to acquire to become better? Now, the last point where you might have pointed out to yourself the skills that you may have been lacking, okay, character wise, personality wise, those very you aware of what new skills you need to acquire. So if you don't have, you're lacking them, obviously you need to improve on them and make them better. Have you lost me again? Okay. So the previous question's answer should give you a fair idea of what you need to improve in yourself. So far, so clear, right? Right. Now, before selling your product, like I was saying to you earlier, people buy you before they buy your product. So before selling your product to a client, you have to sell yourself to the client. If the client likes you, they will definitely buy your product. If they don't, they may not even look at your product or whatever idea you're pitching to them. Sounds very crude, sounds very like crass, but yes, that is the truth of life. Selling is um and when you are an entrepreneur, you are selling day in and day out, not just your business, but yourself as well. You have to stay absolutely on top of your game in the industry, in your business, so that they buy you before they buy your product. There is absolutely no need to feel shy of selling or saying that, oh, what is this woman talking about? And I don't have to sell myself. I don't need to do that. But let me bring some home realities to you. Okay. Very often we say, I can't sell, I cannot pitch, I can't do this, I can't do that. But your entire business is dependent on this one major aspect of you being able to approach the other person without any inhibitions, pitch your idea to that person, pitch your venture to that person, and get on with your entrepreneurial journey and business. If you feel you can't sell, you can't talk to another person, you can't
Ma'am?
Juthika ma'am, you are on mute.
Muted, ma'am.
all right. Am I back?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I am so sorry about the internet. I don't know what's happening today.
No issues, ma'am. You got disconnected. You were saying like when you are trying to like speak, like tell someone something.
Okay. So you might think that, like, okay, I can't sell, I cannot pitch, I can't do this, I can't do that. What is this woman talking about? Why is she insisting on selling myself? Sell you, sell yourself, sell yourself. Or what? Why is she being so insistent about it? But that is the bane, that is the pain of every business. And it is also the major gain of every business, of every entrepreneurial journey. If you can pitch, if you can sell yourself without any inhibitions, if you can approach another person without any inhibitions, then you are very well progressing in your entrepreneurial journey. Your business depends on you speaking to another person, pitching your business, selling your ideas, and selling yourself as a person. Let me tell you, there's not a single person in this room who cannot sell. If you're saying that I can't pitch, I can't sell, you are just denying yourself the most natural thing that comes to everybody in the world. All of you can sell because honestly, you all have been doing it all your life. We have been doing it all our life. You don't believe me? Let me give you an example. If a small child is crying, okay, parents take the child to a toy shop, say, and the child sees a beautiful toy and parents say, like, nah, we can't have that. You might have this other toy, but not that one. The child is going to throw a tantrum. The child is going to be crying for that toy which he will give in and buy that toy for the child. What has happened over here? The parents have bought the tantrum of that child, right? The child has sold himself by crying to the parents. It's the art of convincing, it's the art of persuasion. Can you see, right from childhood, everybody has Am I back? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I was saying, if a girl wants to impress a boy, or if a boy wants to impress a girl, wanting to have the other one as a girlfriend or boyfriend for themselves, what does the person do? The girl is going, what do you think is happening here? The boy is selling himself to her, and the girl is selling herself to him. It's a very subtle way of getting what you want. Can you see that? We all have this art of convincing. We all have this art of persuasion. And one way or the other, subtly, covertly, or overtly, we are always doing the business of selling. Maybe money is not involved. Money is not involved. Emotions are involved. Behavior is involved. Personalities are involved. So yeah, there's a bargain or exchange happening of another kind, right? We also bargain at shops, and shops keep able to actually go ahead and make a pitch or ask for something. If you are confused in your mind about what business you are into or how your plan for the business is supposed to pan out, then obviously you're not going to be able to pitch to the person of interest that you have in mind, right? So you should know if you are valuable enough to the other person for them to give you what you want. And when you know what you want, you become valuable. You are asking for, or whatever it is that you are wanting from them, wanting them to buy from you, you will be able to approach them. So again, write down a few questions for yourself for introspection. Do you know what you need and what you want in order to grow as a person, as in your personality, as in your business? Do you really know what you need and what you want? Pay attention to that. Because that is going to determine whether you know your value and your worth. Remember the L'Oreal ads? They keep saying you're worth it. And the models who come in those ads, they also say, I am worth it. You've seen Shah Rukh Khan, the Bollywood hero. He just spreads his hand and says, I am the best. Why? Why are they saying this? I am. That is why they can say that with so much confidence. They know themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, I'm back. I think you lost me for a second or so.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible clearly.
Yeah. Okay. So why are they able to say that, yes, I am worth it? Why is he able to say I am best? And why are they not lowering their prices in any manner whatsoever? That is because they know their value. That is why they can say that with so much confidence. They know themselves. The first thing to understand and know and have in-depth knowledge about is you. So ask yourselves, how much do you really know yourself? The more good things you know about yourself, the more you will value yourself. The more negatives you know about yourself, well, the more you will not be able to value yourself. But the good news is, the more negatives you know about yourself, the more you're able to improve on yourself and add value to yourself. How's that? Isn't that brilliant? So you get the best of both worlds by knowing your good side and your bad side. Embrace it. Everything comes with value. Seek the value in everything, even the good and even the bad. That is how you add value to yourself. The introspection that I've run you through earlier should also give you a fair idea of what you are worth and how you can still improve on your value, your personal value, by turning your negatives into positives. So basically, when you know your value, then you're not shy about selling yourself, for asking the price that you want for your product, and of course, even creating that impression at the napkin pitch. Right? There are people who charge a couple or more lakhs of dollars, rupees, or whatever currency you might want to put it at, for a product and service, right? And then there are people who sell similar products or services at a much, much lesser price. Can you imagine can you tell me what the difference is all about? Yes, the difference is all about the value. The previous ones who are willing to sell their products at a higher price, not compromising on the price or the cost that they have quoted. Well, they value their product. And the person who is willing to bargain with you and still lower his or her price, they themselves know that their product is not all that valuable. And that's why they compromise on the price. But if you know your product value, if you know your value and what you are bringing to the table, you do not compromise. You will never have to compromise. People will come to you and take what you are offering them. When you know your value and your worth, you will be creating that wonderful impression. Yes, I'm repeating it again and again. What I said a while ago. When you know your value and your worth, you are absolutely not shy of selling yourself, for asking the price that you want for your product, or even creating that impression at the napkin pitch. Even if you don't have the peripherals or the material to explain your product, the confidence of knowing the value of your product, yourself, knowing the value of your project, of your startup, of your venture, or your idea, the pitching to the investor or partner or client becomes so much more easier. You can still create a fantastic impression on that person if and when you know your value and worth. Remember, we are talking about here about the napkin pitch. So how would you sell yourself through the 4 quadrants? The napkin pitch is all about, like, dividing the napkin square into 4 quadrants. Okay, there'll be 4 squares in that one big napkin square. So the first quadrant would be all about description, goals, requirements, and monetization. Now, again, let's have a look how you apply this to your personality, to your character, to yourself. Description, the first quadrant, the first smaller square in the big square. Description. Before you think of describing your business to a client, I want to ask you to describe yourself. I would want you to quickly write down describing yourself. Yes, you know your business. Yes, you know your venture. You know your idea. But describe yourself also. Do you know yourself? Get to know yourself. Describe it. Put it down in writing. Just saying it in your head, like, yeah, I know I am like that. Yes, I am this. And yes, I am that. Yes, I will work on it. Doesn't really help. You have to actually write it down, see it, absorb it, and then work on it. So yeah, before you think of describing your business to your client, ask yourself to describe yourself on paper right away, right now. There's the second, while you're doing that, I am going to look at the next quadrant in the napkin square. Okay. The next quadrant is all about goals. Yes, you have business goals. Yes, you have financial goals, okay, for your business. And you have goals for your teammates, and you have goals for everything about your business, basically. Okay. Now I want you to think and write about the goals you have for yourself to become a better person, to become a better leader, to become a better entrepreneur, to improve the quality of your personality, to improve the quality of your characteristics, and so on and so forth. This is all about you. Goals for improving yourself. Okay, this is the second quadrant. Please do write it down right away, right now. It will help you to actually see where you are coming from, where you're going, and what you need to do to fill in the gap. Now, looking at the third quadrant. The third quadrant is all about requirements. Okay? You know the requirements of your business. You need infrastructure, you need technological gadgets, you need people, you need finances, you need capital, you need space, right? Okay, fantastic. That's your business plan. Happening with absolutely fantastic. But now before you jot down the requirements of your business, I want you to make a note of what is it that you need to become a better person. What are your requirements? Remember, we have all done the introspection in the previous segments, looking at our negatives and positives in relation to business and also to relation to ourselves, everything. So this is all like just bringing it all together. Make a note of what it is that you need to become a better person. If you have answered all those questions, you will be able to fill in this requirement quadrant for yourself as for your person. Okay? So that was the third quadrant. And the last quadrant is all about monetization. Well, we are all doing business to get something out of it, right? Job satisfaction, service to humanity and everything and all is absolutely fantastic. But bottom line, business has to make money in order to survive and grow, isn't it? It is an energy mode. It is the energy on which the business thrives. Now, how do you apply this to your person, to your personality, to your character? So, before you think of monetizing on your business, I want you to think about the value that you bring to the table of the business. Remember, we spoke about value? What you are worth? What do you think you are worth? So that value, what is your value that you bring to the table of your business? Right? So the first quadrant was all about describing yourself. Second quadrant was all about the goals that you have set for yourself. You need to set for yourself. The third quadrant was about the requirements that you need to become the better person. And the fourth one was about what value do you bring to the table of your business. Remember, before impressing others, you need to impress yourself. Knowing your value is about impressing yourself, creating the right impression on yourself. The day you are able to create the right impression about yourself, on yourself, that is the day you will not hesitate in creating the right impression in front of others. Because when your cup is full, only then you will and you can and you will want to give others something to fill their cups to, isn't it? So because when you know yourself, your strengths and your value, that's when your confidence rises. That's what gives you strength and you're able to do a perfect napkin pitch. You love your business, right? And you work hard for it. Those of you who will be setting up your businesses, you will be doing it for the love of it, isn't it? Because you love that work. That is because you want to move ahead in that area of industry or whatever you're going into. So you love your business and you work very hard. You will work hard to make it grow by continuously innovating, reinventing ideas and putting it all into action. But while you're doing that, make sure that you are loving yourself too. You are working hard to become a better person too. And you're putting it all into action, not just keeping it in your head, not just thinking that one day I will do it when I have the time or when I'm not so busy, when I don't have this plan to make, when I don't have this entrepreneurial so much stuff to do, and then I will sit and work on myself. No, you have to do this side by side. Because when you grow, your business grows. When you value yourself, others value your business. When you are worth it, others see the worth of your business, of your entrepreneurial venture. And whatever you're asking for, then you are definitely going to get it. When you're happy with yourself, with who you are, that is when you are happy with everything else in life. Just imagine if your business is growing and you haven't grown as a person, you haven't upgraded yourself as a person, how is it going to make you feel? You might be bogged down by physical ailments, you might be bogged down by mental stress, you might be feeling so exhausted trying to run that business. You don't want that to happen to you. So figure out who you are. When you are become that happy person, become that whole and complete person, the person you value, the person you see the worth in. Don't stand in front of a mirror and look at that person and say like, okay, you are worth it and you are. It's fantastic. It's a good motivational affirmation technique. Yes, it is. However, I would suggest you go one step further and use your smartphones. Okay? Use your smartphones and putting all these aspects of your personality into use, create a pitch. Pitch yourself to a prospective partner, pitch yourself to a prospective investor, or to your client. Create that pitch, not practicing in front of a mirror, but record it on your mobile phone, on your camera. And then see how you appear in that recording. Look at your facial expressions, look at your hand movements, look at your body language, look at everything. Listen to the voice that comes through that recording. That way you will be able to point out where you need to improve. And you will be able to actually see who you are and becoming a better person and loving yourself, knowing who you are and what value you hold and how much you are worth. How worthwhile is your personality, how worthwhile is your character, and how much worth and value it adds to your entrepreneurial venture. Okay? So yes, when you are happy with yourself, with who you are, remember that's what we started with, who you are. When you are happy with yourself, with who you are, that is when you will be happy with everything in your life. So do remember that and work on yourselves and ask yourself today, who am I, what I want to become, and figure out what you're worth and what's your value. The day you impress yourself, the day you create the right impression of yourself, on yourself, the day you're able to impress your own self, that is the day you will be able to conquer the world. If put it in Hindi, I would say, जिस दिन तुमने अपने आप को impress कर दिया, मान लो उस दिन आपने दुनिया जीत ली. Because you know your value, right? जिस दिन तुमने अपने आप को impress कर दिया, बॉस मान लो कि उस दिन आपने दुनिया को जीत लिया. And then there's nothing that can stop you. So begin with impressing yourself first before you venture out with that napkin pitch of yours to impress somebody else. Okay? So yes, thank you so much for listening to this entire session that I have been talking in a monologue fashion all this time. I would have loved it. It would have been like, more interactive. But yes, this was also fantastic. I loved sharing all this with you. And I hope I have been able to add value to your entrepreneurial journey. To sign off, what I would like to do is give you a prefix, and you can fill in the blank after that prefix. Okay?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes?
Yeah, there are a few questions in the comment section. Would we like to take it up?
Yeah, just let me give them this prefix and then we'll take up the question.
Sure,
Okay?
sure.
Yeah? So the prefix is I am. Okay? So I am, add whatever adjective, whatever statement you want after that. Whatever you add after that is your reality, will become your reality. So make sure you're adding what after the I am, something that is worthwhile and that is something of value. Okay? So yes, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Do create a video of the pitch that you will create, the napkin pitch that you will create, and be sure to upload the same so that we can have a look at what you have taken from this entire session here. All right. Okay, so I'm ready for the questions. What are the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So basically, it's from Bhushan, and he
Yes.
says that he is pretty much positive about talking to anyone, but
Okay.
because of some negative thoughts,
Yeah.
his momentum goes down. So what should he
Okay.
do about that?
Yes, that happens to a lot of us. The negative thoughts that come to us are most of the time because of past experiences. Okay, so when we have these past experiences which have kind of deterred us or put us on the back foot, we need to go and visit those negative experiences, find out what happened there, why it happened, remove the negative charge of that emotion, of that incident, and let go. Let go of that incident. Once you have seen that incident, once you know where that pulling back is coming from, you will very well be able to let it go and then move forward in your life. Okay? Does
Thank
that
you so
answer
much,
your
ma'am.
question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And yes, so the next
Yeah.
question is,
Yeah.
what all should we practice? Like, what exactly should we practice to improve our pitch?
Everything that I mentioned in the session. Okay.
Hmm.
Improve on your dressing, improve on your speech, improve on your body language, improve on your internal feelings of feeling worthwhile and feeling valuable. And when you are to add value to yourself, feel worthwhile, you will have to constantly keep upgrading yourself. Your entrepreneurial journey, you have got this education right now, okay? But that's not the end of your learning. You will have to learn so many more little things that will help you to add to your entrepreneurial journey. So don't feel shy of learning something new, or don't be hung up on the fact that I spent so many years doing this degree course. I spent so much money on it and I am so great and this and that and all. A lot of students make that mistake. A lot of students make that mistake and expect that what time, money, and energy they spent in the college years is enough for them to, shoot them into the future to greater heights. Darlings, that is just the beginning of your journey. That was just the beginning of your journey. There is so much more practically you will have to keep learning to take yourself forward. So see, those opportunities will keep coming your way, and never ever deny yourself any kind of learning that comes your way. So keep growing by upgrading yourself all the time. All right?
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So
Yes.
next is not a question, but
Mhm.
someone has actually commented that the session is truly an eye-opener.
Lovely.
Thanks to
Thank you.
IEEE Bombay team for bringing up this kind of session. And the
Thank
next
you.
is really helpful, ma'am, for self-development.
Thank you.
These are the questions one should ask self to measure self-capabilities.
Yes, yes.
There are a lot more
I
positive comments.
hope everybody did write down those questions that I was sharing with all of you. Even if you all were not able to write the answers right now, sit with yourself later on and make it a point to answer those questions. It will help you immensely to grow along with your business, because the more you grow, the more your business is going to grow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome, Samir. Anything else? Any other questions?
No, nothing as of now. Thank you.
Okay, so this is me, Juthika DCruz, signing off. Thank you all for your patience and your lovely comments. And yeah, have a beautiful, beautiful entrepreneurial journey and a great life ahead. Abundance is waiting for you. Go grab it with both hands. Okay, all the best and see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the beautiful and enlightening session. We express our heartfelt gratitude to you for your valuable time and presence for the IEEE Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. So thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.